What is going on, YouTube? If you made it this far into the course, guys, I want to give you a huge round of applause. You're almost done with the Forex Beginner Mastery course, and now that you have a lot of the blueprint, foundational building block knowledge and understanding of the Forex market, of how it actually operates, now we can actually transition into the analysis. And there are 3 different types of analysis that I want to teach you guys about today. And the first things first is going to be fundamental analysis. So what fundamental analysis really means, guys, is that we're going to be taking a look at social, economic, or even political conditions, and what these different conditions affect are the value of a country's currency. So major indicators like GDP, CPI, and even interest rate decisions provide insight into the state of a country's economy. Now, obviously, the value of a currency is determined by the events and conditions taking place in their economy. So fundamental analysis is going to be a huge mover of price, and definitely something for you to be aware about. So you definitely want to start versing yourself in getting familiar with news and different things like that. Secondly, we want to talk about sentimental analysis. Now, this is pretty straightforward. Pretty much, since the people that move the markets are traders for the most part, this is essentially looking into like the psychology of the traders, how they actually feel about things. So this looks at how market players feel about a currency pair or about the market overall, or even the economy, to try to predict how traders' behavior may affect future market performance. So, fundamental is going to talk to you about what the market's going to do based off of data. Sentimental analysis is going to talk to you about how the market's feeling based off of trader psychology. And lastly, and not least, you do save the best for last, TAs, technical analysis. Guys, technical analysis is a method of using the historical price charts and the data, essentially the market stats, to predict future price action. So traders actually use technical analysis to identify trading opportunities, such as potential entry and exit points for each position. Now, quickly, I want to give you guys some tools so you can be versed with your technical and fundamental analysis approach. First things first, fundamental analysis, you can use MyFXBook or even forexfactory.com. These are going to be free resources that obviously show you the different economic data releases that happen on a daily, weekly, monthly basis for different currency pairs, and you can see that these different things will obviously affect price. The main things you want to be aware about are actual, forecast, and previous. Essentially, it's kind of letting you know, hey, this is what the previous release said. Then you can kind of see what it did based off that data. Usually, if you were to click on one of these things, you can kind of read up a little bit more about it. It would be right here. You can see essentially what it talks about and things like that. Red data is going to be high. Red folder data is going to be higher impact. Orange folder is going to be medium impact, and then yellow folder is going to be low impact. Now, I like FXBook because it kind of shows it a little bit more intuitively and user friendly. Essentially, you can, let's see, today. We just had a PMI for AUD release, which is another form of high impact data. As you can see, it just shows you high impact. It shows you the previous, the consensus, and the actual. So essentially, if the actual comes out lower than the consensus, that's going to be a negative effect. If the actual comes out higher than the consensus, it's going to be a positive effect. This can get really deep, but just on a surface level, you guys can kind of see some free resources like FXBook and Forex Factory to look at your fundamentals. Now, the way that most traders like to do their technical analysis now, right? Sentimental analysis is going to be determined based off of like the technical data that you can see. So Let's just go here. For example, let's just go ahead and look at pound New Zealand dollar. Sentimental data is going to be a little bit more straightforward. This is tradingview.com, which is a free, application website software that allows you to track any different market. Now, obviously, I specialize in Forex, but you can go here and trade stocks, funds, futures, crypto, bonds, different economies, options, anything that you could possibly imagine. So tradingview.com is going to be your best friend. There's tools here on the left side that allow you to draw different kinds of lines, like trend lines, horizontal lines, channels, different kind of patterns, different kind of projections. You can even draw and put a smiley face because we're happy. But no, that's pretty much it. You can kind of just get the idea. Now, essentially, technical analysis is going to be, the understanding of these charts using the data that we see off of these graphs, to help us increase the probability of our trade. And it can also help us identify entry points and exit points, for different positions. Now, granted, you can also see sentiment off of the technicals based off how the market players are feeling. For example, we can go here and take a look at gold, so essentially a good way of identifying sentiment would be like this. You see here that the market, for example, is in an overbought condition, right? It's overbought. So after seeing a huge run from just Monday to Wednesday morning to this morning of about 400 pips, more or less, that's a significant jump. Gold went from 27.15 an ounce to about new highs at 27.58. So after seeing this, the sentiment is obvious that the market is starting to feel exhausted. And as you can see, we have more exhaustion behavior here, and the market went ahead and dumped, right? So the sentiment can be used with fundamentals and technicals to help you increase the odds of how you view the market and to help you identify entry points and exit points with the technicals. But you can use fundamental data like interest rates or GDP news to help you, understand what the dollar is actually doing on a daily basis. So, for example, and I'll end the video here because this can go on for like 2 hours. XAU USD. So we're trading gold spot against the US dollar. So then in this case, I would look at, okay, this is my technical chart. The chart is what we call, technicals. Okay. Then, okay, we see that this is obviously with the US dollar. So then what you'd want to do is go here to one of your, fundamental economic calendars and then see if there's dollar data coming out. So then here you can see we have existing home sales data that were released today, along with, that's about it. Obviously a lot of medium impact news like oil, stocks, crude oil, gasoline, stuff like that, but that doesn't really matter. We're really looking at the high impact data. So existing home sales obviously affect, the economy significantly because real estate is a huge factor in our economy. So once this data actually released, you see that we had, positive data and negative data. And then, you can actually see the dollar's performance by itself by the DXY. And you can kind of see that, it responded on a neutral level, a little bear to bearish, a little bit of bullish. But overall, we are very strong on the US dollar. So granted, when you can essentially match, what's going on with this data, you can use that for like a USD based currency pair. Maybe USD CAD would be better to look at versus gold. I just showed you gold to see the sentiment because we're really overbought. And then you see that here we're very exhausted, right? So this sentiment indicates that price probably wanted to go down and then it went ahead and dumped, right? But USD CAD might make a little bit more sense just on a beginner level. You can see that you could essentially match the dollar in the individual currencies movements, which is called the DXY. And if you were to go here and you were to look at USD CAD, you see that it had bearish activity similarly to how the dollar did, right? So I kind of want to show you that because essentially these things do sync. USD CAD did go down based off of the bearish dollar data that we did get this morning. So you can kind of see how your technicals, fundamentals, and sentimental analysis all merge together to form this conglomerate of different factors for you to take account when you're actually making your trading decisions. A lot of information. Definitely play the video back. If you missed something, I'll let you take a screenshot of this in case you didn't, or write this down. But these are the different types of analysis: fundamental, sentimental, and technical. along with 2 free websites for economic calendars, and then obviously TradingView for your technicals. So I mean, guys, you're pretty much set up for success after watching this video. You can go ahead and make a free TradingView account, go find some currency pairs, go do some analysis, go essentially start just messing around, trying to understand price data. At the very top, you should be aware of different time frames. You have weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, 5-minute, 1 minute, so on and so forth. So each different time chart will change completely how the graph looks, and you're going to see different perspectives no matter which way you look at it. So start playing around with this, get familiar with it. The next and following videos will help you become a solid technical analyst, a solid chart analyst, for you to understand the basics of how you can approach a chart with confidence and understand what you're looking at. So definitely stay tuned for the next video, guys. I'm really looking forward to completing this series and helping you along in your journey. If you learned something, interact with the video, show some love, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.